Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it's Swissman15, and welcome back to another episode of Factions in Depth. This one is going to be on Hungary, and we have a very well-known guest today, Pixelated Apollo. Introduce yourself, Pix.
Hello. I am the one called Pixie Poo, Pixelated Apollo. Yeah.
So adorable, brings a smile to my
Yeah,
face.
that's Alex the Rambler. He came up with that one.
Pix is a YouTuber, and you probably all know him, but if you don't, Pix, you can just say a few words about yourself.
Yeah, sure. I've been doing Medieval 2 mostly, and my channel's focused around Medieval 2. I've been doing it for almost 2 years now. So, I do a lot of siege battles. I know a lot about the game, and I'm pretty excited to talk about Hungary.
Yeah, Hungary, the watermelon faction, of course. So, we can start with the cav. I think the most important cav that we talk about, hands down, would be the Royal Bandrium. So what have you to say about them?
Yeah, the Royal Bandrium, they are the best for their price. They can't beat every cav, but if you're good with your tactics, if you can use them in ideal situations, you will get the most for your buck in that unit.
Yeah, it's a very cheap cav. Of course, it has a drawback in melee, since the max it can get is 14-17 rather than 14-18, which is a standard for Western cav usually, but it's a lot cheaper, so it allows you to get more upgrades, so
Right,
cost
so
effective.
Yeah, upgrades, and you can buy like generally more upgrades for infantry or buy more infantry.
And this might not be a valid point, but I have to say, with their giant plate armor, even across the horse, they look fabulous.
Yeah, they definitely get a lot of style points.
It's style points in my heart. And
that name, Bandrium, like that's too much.
They're royals too.
Yeah, Hungary's definitely one of my favorite factions.
Oh yeah, and probably across the entire board. And speaking of cav, we do have the Hussar, which is the other major cav, which I personally love, a light cav that acts like heavy cav, and I love them to death, and they're great for micro. Have you experienced with them?
Yes, I completely agree. That's something we see all throughout Medieval 2 and in all different kind of factions. What people usually do is get like a heavy cav, and then they'll combine a lighter cav, kind of like with England, you'll get the Hospitaller with English Knights. And the Hussars are very good combo with the Royal Bandrium. You know, they're really good at supporting each other, and also the Hussars are just so fast. So good at going after like archers and objectives like artillery and stuff.
And what I noticed, I'm not sure if it's just me going crazy, which is very well possible, but it seems to me their armor upgrade works incredibly well in the Hussars. Like, they will die like nobody's business without it, but with one armor upgrade, all they can get though, it's pretty impressive. And then they get decent stats, and they can fight in a melee and win, run away, attack again. I don't know how they do it. It's just
right. Yeah. They are really good. It's cool that you mentioned that, like, getting one upgrade on a unit can really change the unit completely. We see that a lot in Medieval 2, like with the sword and bucklermen.
Oh yeah, one armor upgrade goes a long way.
Yeah, so that is a cool little, because I never knew about the armor thing for the Hussars.
It might not be a thing. It's just me guessing.
It might be
my experience with them.
Yeah, it's
complete and utter nonsense, or complete and total fact, or somewhere in between.
I don't know, you gotta test it out.
Oh, that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Now, probably for the well-known cav. Actually, wait, before I get onto that, the Chivalric Knights that the Hungarians have, never get them, or rarely get them, because they're the same as the Royal Bandrium, just more expensive. That's just a point I had to throw out there.
Yeah. If you see a player bringing the Chivalric Knights and not any Royal Bandrium, it might be a good indicator that they're new to the game.
Or you could guide them. Just throw it out there and be like, Royal Bandrium are the same but cheaper.
Yeah, but that usually, in depending how competitive the person is, it usually doesn't go so smoothly when you give advice. Don't
go, hey noob!
Yeah, that's true. It is true how you present it to them. But yeah.
But for the less well-known / used cav that Hungary has to offer, it's definitely the Magyars and the Hungarian nobles, which are early period archer cav, and not a lot of people like them. Have you ever used them before?
A couple times, but honestly, with my playstyle, I don't really mess around with horse archers too much. But I do think they're pretty solid units if you're the kind of player that enjoys horse archers.
Yeah, neither am I to be one with horse archers. I can't use them right. It's just not I've seen people use them. I just can't. But the Hungarian nobles have the great melee for what they do, and Magyars are just incredibly annoyingly fast. But they will
Yeah.
rout in a melee. That's all you need to know. If you're an archer, a horse archer unit user, you should know about them already. But I think we should go into the infantry now. So, what infantry unit would you like first?
Yeah, this is an interesting thing for Hungary, mostly because of their Shivak Knights, their dismounted Shivak Knights. They are lesser of the Western Shivak Knights,
Yes.
which is really strange. But I believe it has something to do with their shield.
Yeah, their shield gets less defense points because it's oddly shaped, which I don't understand because it seems bigger than the other
Yeah,
shields.
maybe it's just too heavy.
Yeah, they can't move fast enough. Um, but
But I don't think it's like the mounted chivalric knights. I still think they're worth getting.
yeah,
But
with
go ahead.
Hungary's infantry, they definitely are the only resort to go after feudal knights for the
Right.
basic infantry line. So you're gonna get them. Just if you're gonna put upgrades, put them on them first before the feudal knights, and get feudal knights before them in a low money battle because they cost less and do more.
Yeah, for sure. You want to focus around the feudal knights
Yeah.
for Hungary rather than the chivalric knights. But another unit I want to bring up. Hungary isn't the only faction that has this unit, or maybe it is the Croat Axemen.
Yeah, it is the only faction.
It is okay. Well, they're very cost effective. They're very good. If you know how to use them properly, like sending them into the flank or getting a good shock charge, or even sending them into the cav engagement.
Yes. There's a few things I've used Croat Axemen for. I've used them to guard serpentines because Hungary has those, and we'll get into those later. But they're also great in the cav fight because they have the two-handed axe, and they can chop down cav like nobody's business or do a good flank. Other than that, their drawback is the morale. Have you noticed how much they rout?
Yeah, well, yeah, they're a very cheap unit, and that's
Yeah.
to be expected. You should never like send them in the front lines for long periods of time.
Though it is fun. I bring that up though. You're not wrong in saying put them in the front line. Don't put them in the front lines because that'll end badly. But if you want to send them charging at your enemy's archers during a skirmish, it could have some good results in the fact that
Yeah, I
kill
mean,
their
you.
archers or win the skirmish. I'm sorry for interrupting you. Go on.
Oh no, I was just gonna say it's not a bad idea to have units like Croat Axemen, because sometimes there'll be situations where you'll see cav charging after your infantry, and you can't do anything about it, and you can send forward a cheap unit like the Croat Axemen to take the blunt of the force.
And they can
You
do
know-
a good counter charge.
Right, yeah. And that will save your more elite feudal knights and stuff, because they're way more important for the infantry fight.
Or you can
So-
always use them to shock like Pavi's crossmen, who will rout Croat Axemen in my experience. So you can get that pesky crossbow unit out of the way every now and then.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think we should move on to one of the more
Oh, one more unit real quick,
yeah,
because this is
that's
such
what
a
I was
unique.
going to. I think we were both going to the same one.
Oh, the Pavis Spearmen.
Actually, yes.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
start them.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Yeah. The Pavi Spearmen. I really like them, not because they're like amazing or anything, just because they're unique to Hungary, and it's awesome. I mean, in most cases, spearmen are pretty much useless in medieval 2. But hey, style points.
Yeah, they look awesome for spearmen, just with the Pavi shield. I love it. I just love the look.
Yeah.
So I want to bring them when I can, but I know it's not necessarily the smartest choice in all. I think they're a high period unit, so that could be useful. Question mark?
Yeah, maybe if you're doing like a high period only. See, like I honestly, the only reason you would get them is for the cav, right? I mean,
Yeah.
to help your cav out. But like, why would you get the Pavis when you can just get the Croat Axemen?
Yeah, and I think in the high period, it's the only time you could choose one or the other. So if you're playing high period, you have an excuse to get them.
Yeah. There you go.
Or wait, actually, Croatman Axeman might be in the high period. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
final infantry unit, which is rather odd, are the Battlefield Assassins.
Oh yes, I completely
Yes.
forgot about them. Yeah.
They have 16 stats and 2 hit points, and they can hide anywhere, so they're like lesser Hashashim, and they're a little bit cheaper, which is good. I don't use them much besides maybe having one unit for a little bit of ambushing action or in a siege.
Yeah.
You're the siege expert. Have you used them there?
Yes. I was just about to say that. The only time I never use them for pitch battles, because yeah, you can set up an ambush, but that takes a lot of micro and babysitting, and it's just like it's not worth it. So
Yeah. When it
yeah,
comes to ambushes, it's either you get it right or it's all wrong. But so you use them in sieges. What do you do exactly?
yeah. So like you said, they're very similar to Hashishim. They're a little lesser, but same concept. The Hashishim and the Battlefield Assassins, they have that extra hit point, and they're really, really good in close quarters, which is what siege battles are all about, especially up on the walls. So getting a couple of them for defense or even attack, trying to take a wall, is really, really useful because they can just slaughter forces.
Yeah, it's good because in sieges they can't get surrounded with their tiny unit size as they can in pitch, and they are less susceptible to like archer fire because they're a smaller unit.
Right. Right.
Have you any final points? I think it's just pretty good synopsis on what they do.
Well, you can hide them. They go invisible anywhere.
Yeah.
So
Again,
that,
for the ambush that may or may not
yeah,
work.
yeah. I don't know if that really helps in siege battles. Can you even hide them? And I've never been
You
like
could hide them in a street and then like shock someone's cab they're rushing in. I have to try that one time.
Yeah, I've never experienced that though. I'm never like attacking. I'm like, oh, Battlefield's assassins out of nowhere.
Yeah. It's sometimes harder to see Hungary, especially on defense, because they don't have the grind units necessary.
Yeah. Hungary is not overall a great siege army, but
It's a niche army.
yeah, honestly, they're not the worst though. They're like middle ground. So
Yeah. Acceptable.
yeah.
So going on to archers, it's basically pavis and that's about it. I mean, they're pretty standard units in essence, and
Yeah, we've when we way back when we made the top 10 archers, we said they're pretty much the feudal knights of archers. They're like middle ground, expensive, and they kill everything.
yeah, even the better archers will not be worth the money. They'll win by a narrow margin, but they won't win enough for it to be worth
Worth
against
it,
the
yeah.
pavis.
I mean, we've tested a unit like the Aventurier. Like we've tested, and the Pavis won. I'm pretty sure like every time.
Or they
Or,
lost by like 2 units.
You two guys, yeah. So yeah, whenever it doesn't matter who you're playing, unless you're like Milan, which can bring Genoese, which are even better than Pavis. If your roster has Pavis on it and you want to go with a balanced build, get the Pavis. There's really no need to talk about the other archers for Hungary.
Yeah,
but
and they're all short range and crap.
yeah. I mean, if you're talking about siege battles, I can see where Aventurier and Scots Guard and stuff like that are useful because they're okay in melee, and having a composite bow is better in some cases in siege battles. So maybe you want to look at the other archers. If you're Hungry defending, you can look at the other composite bow archers. But
The Bosnian archers are actually pretty decent.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they've got the toast shields. It looks like toast.
Toast. The
Yeah.
watermelon faction with toast.
Yes, I know. I just get hungry when I see
You get
hungry.
hungry when you see hungry?
Toast shields. No wonder they're called hungry.
Yeah. It's just they're the food faction.
Yep.
They feast every time they win.
Yes. So yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So probably the last notable unit, and we have talked about it in other episodes, but of course there's Apollo here, and he can put a new dynamic if he has anything to say. Serpentines. How much do you love them on a scale of 1 to 100?
1 to 100. That's a large scale. How much do I love them? I'm gonna give it a 82.
82. Interesting.
Yeah.
I give them like a 95.
Wow. Yeah. What do you love them for? Pitched or siege?
Everything.
Everything.
In pitch, they can just knock out units because they're crazy good at that and pretty cost effective for what they do. They always get at least 70 kills. And in a siege battle, they can guard an alley all the way down if you're on defense, which is brilliant and very annoying for the attackers because they can't get their artillery or else it'll be blasted smithereens.
I think the best situation for serpentines is during like city battles when there's like just a bunch of roads everywhere.
Yeah.
I remember, we were losing a siege battle and my ally had a serpentine and he was just like destroying waves and waves of forces. I was like, wow, and we ended up winning. It was crazy. So,
Serpentines
but
are
what is your what is your opinion on serpentines in pitch battles?
It's really iffy because if you're against an opponent who rushes, it may not get its money's worth.
Yeah.
But generally, it can get a good volley across, and depending how the attacker is formatted, you can either kill the general, which would be a great start, or you can take out a good infantry line. But generally, just position it on a hill or something that you can defend with a like crowed axemen, and you'll defend it, and it'll shoot away.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. See, that's why I just hate artillery in pitch battles because maybe I'm just bad luck, but I never seem to get good volleys, and I'm like, why even bring them?
It does not accept you as their general.
I know they don't accept my ways.
Well, you see, Pixie Poo, with that kind of name, how can they ever respect you?
Yeah, I know. Pixie Poo, I'm not fighting for him.
He tells me to shoot. No way.
But what was I gonna say? But yeah, I agree. Like something about generals and artillery, like they're magnets, and I see it all the time.
And it always hurts when it's your general who's dying.
I know.
From
Oh my god, that is the worst. That's the worst feeling in Medieval 2 Total War.
It's just like of all ways to die, you had to die that way. The first one in your entire unit.
Yeah, yeah. It's like there's like 1,000 troops on the field, and it's so important to keep your general alive. And when you see him die, it's like, well, this is gonna be hard to win this one.
Certainly. So moving on to just the cost and balance of Hungary. What do you say? Is it rush faction, a balance faction, cost effective, not a cost effective? Just your final points.
They are extremely cost effective. I think they're the most cost effective faction out of all the factions. And I think the great thing about Hungary is that they can go either way. They can go rush and they can go balance because of the Pavis, and they can go rush because of the Royal Bandrium and the Crowed Axemen. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to agree there. Just great units. Royal Bandrium are cheap. Crowed Axemen are cheap, so you can just get your money's worth out of them. Cheap infantry, though not necessarily the best infantry. Like the Chivalric Knights, they're expensive, more expensive than feudals, but still cheaper than the other Chivalric Knights that are out there.
Yeah.
And then just very cost effective generally. And Hussars are cheap also and very strong. So cheap cav and cheap infantry, that's nice to go by.
Yeah, for sure. Like if you're gonna go into battle with the Hungarians, you're gonna need to win the cav engagement. Like your infantry will hold and they'll do well, but you got to use those hussars to get some like cycle charges. And,
yeah, you need the micro to win.
Yeah.
Or the Crowed Axemen to help in the melee because the melee is a little bit bad in the Hungarian cav, just a little bit subpar in comparison to other knights.
Right. Yeah, I mean they take more skill to play, but Hungary can pretty much beat anyone, I think.
Yeah, definitely more of an experienced faction, I would say, in the grand scheme. But I do want to mention that Crowed Axemen also make great meat shields.
Yes.
For the rushes that you want to do, and Pavi's spearmen can go on the side. They don't take too much missile damage, which is nice, but they are more expensive.
Yes, that is true.
So yeah, you can use them for whatever you want. Very flexible and very fun and nice looking faction.
Yeah, very unique. Very, very unique, which is something we don't unfortunately get to see a lot in Medieval 2. You know, all feudal knights look the same, but their chivalry knights look different because of the shields and the royal banjo. They have units that are like very original, and you can only play them as Hungary.
Indeed. Just a fun faction. It's something out there, and it's very good for what it does, so it's different from the rest. It's its own haven of fun.
And campaign-wise, they've got a pretty fun location.
Yeah. We don't generally talk about the campaign, but that's actually a good point. They're in the nice Balkan area, fight the Byzantines.
Yeah, you're surrounded by all kinds of enemies. So
Mongols might come get you.
Yeah.
So that actually brings us to our close. So I want to thank you, Apollo, for joining me.
Thanks for inviting me.
To join on anything on my channel nowadays.
Oh no, you played with me since the beginning, man.
Yeah, and it's been a long time. I haven't fought you in a battle, and I need to.
I know, I know. You keep asking me if you want to do 1v1s, and it's like I'm rendering or something. I swear I am.
Stop it! No more YouTube.
No, Swissman. No, I'm pretty sure you would crush me in a 1v1 pitch battle. I'll give you the pitch battles, but the siege battles.
You can probably top me in the siege. We balance each other out.
Yeah, there you go.
So just thank you again, and I'll see you all in the next episode. Like, comment, subscribe, and if you somehow don't know Apollo's channel and know mine, which I find very hard to believe, you can always check out Apollo. I'll probably link in the description, and I'll see you all in the next episode. Goodbye, my friends.
Thanks for watching.